Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, November 29th. Friendly reminder, the markets are closed on the 28th for Thanksgiving. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol VCIG. Crazy mover today, big volatility, big volume. And now this is a little tricky to talk about because it's all about perspective, meaning if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought up around there and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad because yeah, there's no doubt about it. There was this pullback that occurred right here. You can't deny that at all. With that being said, if you are interested in more so the bigger picture point of view, well, part of the bigger picture is acknowledging, well, yeah, fair enough, the price did pull back here. But because I care about the bigger picture, I'm also wondering, well, what was happening before this pullback? And those people would say, well, the price was here, and then it exploded all the way up here, which is now given the ability to draw a bull flag pattern. I want to reiterate, I understand if you're a day trader that bought right there, you don't care about this bull flag pattern. There's nothing bullish at all to you about this chart. But I'm trying to talk about from multiple reference points. So for those of you that do care about the bigger picture point of view, you still have a bull flag with that pullback. Or maybe for those of you that are just looking for bull flags because you like that pattern, then definitely keep an eye on VCIG for Friday. Next one, MSTZ, and this one pulled back a bit today. So once again, all about perspective. If you're some sort of shorter term trader and you're buying right there looking for a quick scalp or a quick little gap up swing trade or something, then yeah, from that angle, not looking so good as there was a pullback here. But overall, the price is still, let me move this over some, still able to build higher bases. So if we go back here through the lows, we have this low right there, then we have this low, and then if you look at the lows even right here, you can still see that these lows are higher if you want to just envision those as stair steps. Stair steps are still possible in the upwards direction. So assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, yes, today wasn't the greatest of days, but the price does still have that opportunity to build that higher low. And just to reiterate, definitely if you're a day trader that bought right there, things are not looking so good. Now, what I do want to do is just get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And one update, which is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So if there is any sort of attempted curl back upwards, then right here at $1.18 will be that first key battleground that'll need to be broke in regard to the areas of resistance. And then in terms of levels of support, I want to just get in that line right there. Oh, I guess it's actually at that line. I thought it was still slightly above it, but it's actually slightly below it, but still well within the range. So yeah, that'll be a big question mark going into Friday. Can the price maintain that trend line? Is there about to be a bounce, or is this thing going to just separate further to the downside? Next one here, ticker symbol IDAI. Did this one in yesterday's top 10 video. Talked about this pattern here and how it was slightly breaking out and just wondering, was this the start of something bigger? And yeah, we got our answer here. Definitely a sign of something much bigger. So massive volume today, great price movement. And I'll just get rid of those lines as we start afresh here. So moving forward, as far as the ideal level of support, when you say, hey, Clay, what makes this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? That would be if the price could manage to stay above 71 cents. Now, don't get me wrong. If the price falls below 71, that does not mean the entire chart's destroyed or anything like that. But if the price could manage to stay above it, that would certainly be a great sign of power. From the big picture point of view, that is where the purple line here comes into play. The 50-period simple moving average. Keyword definitely being moving, because I understand the price is way up here right now. This line's way down here, but as the days pass, that line will move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. It's essentially a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So as long as the price stays above that quote-unquote trend line, then the overall movement is still in the upwards direction, because by definition, in order to stay above a line that's moving up, well, the price itself has to move up. So keep an eye on that from the overarching standpoint. And then in terms of areas of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this. Just a question of where did the party finally stop today? And that was right up there at the 86-cent mark. So keep an eye on 86 cents moving forward. But yeah, no doubt about it. Very, very impressive movement today. So we'll see if this momentum carries into Friday. Next one, ACHR, and finally got the breakout today. Yesterday was pretty sloppy, but the price returned back upwards this opening 30 minutes. And then you can see right there, broke through that previous resistance that I talked about. And then just as a classic example of charts, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. But the rule in charting, when levels of resistance are broken, you want to see them act as support. So check it out. That's when it was broken. You would want to see it act as resistance. Price came up here, came all the way back down there, and what a pleasant surprise. Classic example of that resistance now acting as support, and up it goes. Now, I am going to go ahead and get rid of that level because I think there's a easier way that we can just gauge the health of everything, and that's where we go back to that purple line there, which you now know is the 50-period moving average. So from the big picture point of view, as long as price continues to stay above that line, as the line itself moves higher and higher, then the bulls are in full control and full health. In regards to areas of resistance, once again, no need to overcomplicate this. Just a question, where did the party stop today? And you can see several times right up here around the $8.50 mark. Was it exactly at that level? No, there's a couple times where it got slightly above it. A couple times it got slightly below it. But just generally speaking, right up here around $8.50, the sellers have shown up for the time being. So that'll be the main battleground to watch moving forward. But all in all, definitely a great day. And it'll be exciting to see if this uptrend can continue. Next one here, NVDA, and overall, a rough day in the sense of, for those of you that have watched past videos, I've been talking about essentially this little sideways action that had been occurring, who was going to win, and yeah, the Bears won with a break to the downside. So the Bears had themselves a very, very solid day here. So I'm just going to get rid of those levels and map out a couple of key dynamics. Now, to be fair, there has been a very impressive bounce from where the price was at its lows early afternoon to where it is right now. I mean, that's been a good, solid bounce. So at this point, it's just a question of, can the price just start to show some signs of progress? And I realize I'm just saying words, signs of progress, but that's why I love charts, because they allow you to take words and then make them very visual. So when I say signs of progress, what I mean is staying up there above 133, because if the price comes down here, behaves like this, and then curls back upwards, what do you have at that point? Well, you have a set of lows right there. You have lows right there. And as I talked about previously, if you envision those as stair steps, there you go. You have progress being made in the upwards direction. So moving forward in terms of the health of this bounce, is it truly a healthy bounce? Well, let's see if it can at least show progress. Progress being defined as 133. In terms of areas of resistance, main battleground to watch, going to be this former area of support right here at 135.80. So keep an eye on that. But even if the price breaks above there, I want to get too excited because not that far up above. You do have the purple line there, the 50-period moving average. But yeah, no doubt about it. Rough day overall, but to give credit where credit's due, nice bounce this afternoon, so we'll see if the momentum carries into Friday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use. Or if you're watching right at my site, there's an area on the webpage you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, ticker symbol OPTT, and very, very nice technical pattern on this one. So let's just get this thing drawn. And then we'll go from there. So there's the area of resistance. Oops. Let's try that again. There is our support trend line. Let me change that to green. And then to make the pattern easier to see, let's just keep it one color. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big upwards move there. And then for you golfers out there, try to make it a little bit more visual. Put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So while no guarantees exist, is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price comes up here and pushes through the top part of that pattern, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible and reasonable thought to have on your end. So if you like bull pennants, you like penny stocks, here you go. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and maybe it stood out to you right away, but key dynamic moving forward into Friday is all about that pink line there, which on my chart represents that famous 200-period moving average. And check it out, how the price has just been kind of cruising right on top of that level. So that just is the big question headed into Friday. Is that level going to continue to hold? Current value of it at 332.25. So like I said, very, very interesting dynamic. If it does indeed hold and you get a bounce to the upside, key area of resistance going to be right there, that purple line there, 50-period moving average at 343.75, we'll call it. If the price does ultimately break, then the level that I'm very curious about are the lows from today. Does it double bottom down here at that level of 326.60? So like I said, if it comes down here, no guarantees, but valid to think that, well, you have bottom number one. Would this be bottom number two, which then leads to a bounce to the upside? Totally valid to think that way, but that's why risk management matters, because if the price comes down here and just crashes down through there, well, then you don't want to get stuck in some sort of nasty move. But I can totally see the logic of a potential double bottom if that level falls. But we'll see what happens with it. But it all starts and ends with what exactly is going to happen with that 200 period moving average. So grab your popcorn for Friday. Next one here, MARA, and it's a very simple premise headed into into Friday. Breakout has occurred. Is this the start of something bigger? And it's really as straightforward as that. But you got to just stop and think about that question, because it makes no sense to ask that question if nothing worthwhile is happening, because to say, is this the start of something bigger when nothing has happened, again, does not make any sense. So just via the fact that we're getting to ask this question is a good thing, because that means something is happening. And again, what's happening, and I realize this means a little bit more to those of you that watched the previous videos, but I've drawn on this pattern. The price is now up above the pattern. It is broken out through it. Will it get continuation? Is this breakout the start of something even bigger? Let's see what happens on Friday. Next one here, UMAC, and a good solid pattern, namely just because of this trend line here, which I think a lot of people have drawn. So please don't think that I'm trying to impress you or try to imply that's some sort of great discovery or special talent. No, the exact opposite. Got to think a lot of people have drawn something very similar to that. And I say all that because when you have that many eyeballs watching a general area, wondering a general thought, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So no guarantees, but more than valid to think if the price comes up there and pushes up through it, that break could create additional buying pressure. So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. And then as far as supports are concerned, keep an eye on that trend line right there. But in my opinion, especially with the last 30 minutes that's occurring right now, good solid green candle. The most interesting dynamic is, will the price be able to get up to that level and then push through it on Friday? We'll see what happens. Next one here, OTLK, and a very, very rough day on this one. Huge gap down, but you also have to give credit where credit's due. From where it was at its lows to where it worked itself right there. Good solid bounce. That brings about the question, is there any sort of genuine power behind this bounce? But we've already answered that previously, because now it's just a question of, yes, this was a great bounce. Is it truly healthy? Well, let's see if the price can make progress and show signs of progress, which, okay, well, where, because like I mentioned earlier, those are just words, but we can help visualize those words. And in my mind, the progress point is right here at $1.28. So if the price were to come down here and then break down below there, what would you have at that point? You would have the price having gone quite literally right back to where it was, and not to insult your intelligence, price movements that make a great move and then go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. But if the price comes down here, behaves like that, curls back upwards, and as I pointed out a couple of times already, you have these stair steps in motion. You have that low right there, you have that low, and then the stair steps are progressing in the upwards direction. So that is why $1.27, very, very important level going into Friday and then next week. And just answering the question, yeah, great bounce, but let's see if it can show progress. In terms of areas of resistance, seems to be the majority of the sellers are hanging right around that $2 mark. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, overall, big gap down, big bounce. Is this bounce the start of something even bigger? Let's see how it all unfolds over the next few days. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a moment, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely go get signed up for the free webinar next week. It'll be Thursday, December 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. And if you enjoy these top 10 videos and you want to just support the channel in a super easy way, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out, really goes a long way. So I thank you in advance for doing it. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. We are now on the 4-hour time frame. So instead of each one of these candlesticks representing 30 minutes, each one now represents 4 hours, and that's because Bitcoin is open 24/7, and I want this video to remain relevant for as long as possible. So by looking at longer time frames and then walking you through some questions here, I'll be able to keep this analysis relevant for as long as possible. So overall, very, very impressive bounce from Bitcoin from the last time I did it. I think the last 24 hours ago when I was doing it was right on this candle right here, and then from there, just basically a V-shaped recovery. It's gotten back up above that purple line right there, the 50-period moving average. So truly a lot of great things going on. So the level to keep an eye on now moving forward is, let's just get this overall trend line in play. So let's just say you're watching this video, I don't know, 24 hours from now, whatever. But question number one becomes, where's the price at relative to that trend line right there? In any way, if you're saying the price is above that trend line, that is a good thing. That means a breakout has occurred. Now, how good of a breakout? Well, that's where common sense kicks into play. Because the question then goes into, well, how far above that trend line is it? The further up above the price is from the trend line, the more powerful of a breakout. But even if the price is just barely above it, that's still a good thing. That still is telling you that a breakout has occurred. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below the red line right there, that's okay, not the end of the world. The next question you'd want to ask yourself is, I'm going to go ahead and move this level up. Where's the price at relative to this area right here at 92,500? And that's an area where, to me, going back to the whole idea of, is the price at least showing signs of progress? So if the price is down here and then is kind of just hovering around that area, at least in the near term, you still have that opportunity to build those higher lows. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below 92,500, well, then that's not a good sign, because that means that this whole bounce here has essentially been wiped away. The price has essentially gone back to where it was. So any answering of the question of a price, the price being down below 92,500, not good. So keep your eye on these levels, walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep Bitcoin relevant until I'm back to update it again. And as I read of the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely get signed up for this free class, because what you will learn about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So as mentioned, it'll be next week, Thursday, December 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope to see you there. And once again, if you enjoy these top 10 videos, if you enjoy me doing Bitcoin, please help out the channel and support it in a very easy way by hitting that subscribe button. So I thank you for doing that. And I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you back on Friday.